In the previous video, we used a Rive component, which is a position component in the Flame game to move an animated character across the screen. Today, we're going to break out the Rive component into a separate class. This will allow us to take actions such as removing the object when a certain event takes place. The event we're going to use to remove the object is a position on the screen. However, if you use tappable, you could tap on the object or have a collision if you used collidables. To keep it simple, we're just going to use the position. So let's get it started by creating a new class at the very bottom of your file. And we'll call our new class Caret component. So it's pretty obvious that it extends the Rive component. And again, the Rive component is I guess it's the main component from Flame Rive. I like to emphasize where the component comes from because then you can refer to that documentation on pub.dev or other places for the specific API documentation for this. So this is a position component, and because of that, it has all the methods of the standard Flame game position component. So the Rive component does require the artboard, which is from the Rive package. So we're using a constructor here, and the super, so if you remember it just calls the parent class, and it's going to pass it to artboard. And we're going to get the artboard when we instantiate the Caret component. So it's going to be passed to the Caret component by the thing that calls it. And just to be clear, we'll call ours the Caret artboard. And we're going to require it in the constructor with the required keyword, which is from Dart. And just to reduce the code in the main Flame game class a bit, we'll put the size of the artboard here. Originally had it as 300, but I think I'm going to create an army of carrots or radishes. So we'll put the size of the actual Caret component here, and we'll do a vector to all. So it's a square. It's 200 by 200 pixels. Then we'll grab the update method. The update is from the Flame game, and normally you might put it in the Flame game just to be quick, but every position component also has this update method. So you can update the radish or the carrot from within the Caret component class itself. Now we'll get rid of that late Rive component declaration for the Caret component, which was above the onload method, because now we're just going to instantiate it right here in the onload, since we don't need to use the update method outside of the onload, since the Caret component now is updating itself. And we changed the constructor, if you recall, it's now Caret artboard, just to be clear, and that will pass it the Caret artboard that we created in the previous video. And now if we restart it, not much has changed. The carrot's a little bit smaller, so it's 200 by 200 pixels, but we're in a much better position to create an army of carrots. And I know all of you out there are probably thinking, oh, army of zombies, but no, today is army of carrots that we're going to be dealing with. But unfortunately for the carrots, we will remove the carrot from the screen when a certain event takes place. And for that, we're going to use the mixin. So the with keyword from Dart is mixin, and the has game ref is from the Flame game, right? So we want to use the game ref from Flame game. So then we can pull in different parameters. One of the properties that we're going to pull in is the size of the Flame game screen. So when the radish hits some X coordinate relative to the right hand side of the screen, we're going to remove the radish from the screen. And I still haven't figured out whether it's a carrot or a radish. The file name was radish, so if anyone knows if there's an orange radish somewhere, perhaps in Europe or other places, just drop a comment on the YouTube video, because I initially saw it, I thought it was a carrot. All right, so since we have the game ref from the mixin, right? So that game ref is your Flame game, and the Flame game has a size, so it's the size of the game. The first element of the vector is 0, which is the width of it. So if it hits the width, we're going to remove it. So we're going to remove it from the game, and we're removing this particular widget. This actually isn't a very good setup because I won't be able to tell whether the caret has gone off the screen. So I'll actually remove the caret when it's 300 pixels in from the right edge of the screen. So this is 300 pixels starting from the left edge of the caret relative to the screen. This type of thing might be good for a recipe game. Of course, if you did substitute a monster for the radish, you could have a type of shooter game. In the onload method, we're going to create our caret army within a for loop. So let's start off with the y-axis. And we're going to set up a for loop and actually just use the y position in the loop itself as the counter. So instead of int and I equals 0, we're just going to use y position as a double. And less than 800, which would be the bottom of the screen. And we increment it by 200 pixels every time. Then we'll use that y position in the for loop as the position of the caret. So initially we'll have I guess it's a column of probably 4 carets. So the loop initially creates a caret at height 0 relative to the top of the caret and the screen, and then 200, then 400, then 600, and then it'll stop. And so we do have our 4 carets, but we want a caret army, or they look pretty friendly, so maybe it's just a gathering of carets. So we're going to create the X position. So this is the position of the caret on the left to right, and we did manipulate the position when we're moving the caret, but now we're going to create multiple carets that are spaced out at maybe roughly the same interval. So every 200 pixels there'll be a new caret. And since we have a nested for loop, a loop within a loop, it'll be 4 times 4 or 16 carets in our initial army. Or, depending on your game, your caret community. So we just set the position. You could do X and Y separately. You can also combine the X and Y into a vector, a 2-position vector, vector 2 for X and Y. These are both doubles. Whoa, and then we have our gathering of carets. And every single caret will have an event, which is remove, that would be applied to the caret when it reaches a certain position on the screen. And that position is the left edge of the caret is 300 pixels from the right edge of the screen. Subscribe to the channel for updates on the more than 50 videos I've made on Flame. The videos with source code are also available for free on Teachable, 100% free course if this is a hobby. In whatever way you choose to learn, make sure you have fun and unleash your creativity. Have a fantastic day.